Guys, I'm going to try and move this around a little bit. Appreciate everyone hanging around for the final presentation. I know that's not easy on a Friday afternoon, nor is it easy to back cleanup on a Friday afternoon, on a rainy Friday afternoon in Kansas City. But we're going to try, and we'll try and make it entertaining and move quickly. So again, thank you, Sharon. I'm Quinn Murphy. I head our construction group. We have about 10 attorneys. We have litigation matters throughout the nation, but offices in Missouri, Kansas, and Illinois. And I've practiced construction law for about 17 years now, and over the last probably 3 to 5 years, we've seen an explosion of emphasis within the industry on technology, artificial intelligence, and the efficiencies that that creates. So when you back cleanup, you try and find ways to keep people's attention, and if the topic wasn't interesting enough, we're going to examine the current state of the construction industry and technology in the construction industry by looking at it in relation to the 1999 movie, The Matrix. Has anybody seen The Matrix? All right, good. So I don't have to do too much background. For those of you that haven't, it was released in 1999, amazingly, 20 years ago. Grossed over $460 million worldwide, and it depicts a future in which mankind and the earth is taken over by artificial intelligence and machines. And under the Matrix theory, the human beings think they're actually living their lives and going to work and doing different things, but in actuality, they are operating in the Matrix, and they're being controlled by machines, and everything they see is not actually reality. Now, our hero in the Matrix movie is a guy named Neo. Okay, Neo in the movie is played by Keanu Reeves, and he is an individual who's been operating in the Matrix, thinks he's living his life when in actuality he's hooked up to a machine, and Neo is drawn into a rebellion by a guy named Morpheus. Morpheus is also a good guy in the movie, and Morpheus is played by Lawrence Fishburne. Morpheus is trying to rebel against these machines that have captivated mankind and trapped it in this electronic matrix, and he is recruiting Neo to help him in that fight. And Morpheus in the movie actually grabs Neo and captures him and gives him an option of whether or not he wants to see reality for what it really is, or whether he wants to go back and live the rest of his life comfortably and safely in the Matrix.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So Neo takes the red pill, and thankfully he did, or else we wouldn't be able to use it for this presentation. But by taking the red pill, he now learns reality and what reality really is. And that reality for our hero Neo is that he is operating in a matrix, a false world controlled by AI. So now Morpheus takes Neo, and he decides he'll show him exactly what the Matrix really is.
This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.
The desert of the real. So now our character Morpheus is going to teach Neo how he is battling the computers. And how they do that in the Matrix is through artificial intelligence and training associated with their use of artificial intelligence. So in essence, what Morpheus does is teaches Neo to, within the Matrix, battle the bad guys in our story. And the bad guys in our story are Matrix agents. And what they want to do is they want to keep everybody believing that they're in the Matrix and that that's reality, and not let them escape or come to fruition. So what the Matrix is actually all about in training is extraordinary performance, feats that couldn't be accomplished through normal human capabilities, but can be accomplished through imagination and artificial intelligence and technology. One of those feats, as it turns out, is the ability to dodge bullets and do cartwheels and shoot guns, grab guns, and dodge bullets all at the same time. As we see here by Neo, once he gets good at operating within the Matrix. Great special effects. But what does this have anything to do with construction? That's the fun part. Construction, technology in construction has been a slow developing phenomenon. For years, it makes sense. Contractors are used to using hammers, nails, things they can put their hands on, things that have worked for them and things that have worked for their families and generations, oftentimes for many, many years. So in some ways, the construction industry is behind the curve when it comes to technology. But many believe, particularly in the last 3 to 5 years, that technology represents a new frontier for the construction industry and is going to allow it to move forward and achieve different efficiencies and performance levels that previously were unattained. The goal with technology in construction is really always one of 3 things: increase performance, increase efficiency and profitability, or increase safety. And that's what we've been seeing in the last couple of years in the construction industry, like I said, at a remarkable pace. What contractors are attempting to do right now is utilize technology and apply a typical construction model to technology. So when a contractor applies their normal model, they look at the first call they get on a project and every step in the chain until the project is actually delivered. And they ask themselves, how do I make each link in that chain, as efficient, as quality, and as profitable as I possibly can? And so when contractors now are looking at AI and technology, they're asking themselves the same question. When I first get that call to the end, when I deliver my product, how can AI help me? Can AI function and take over one of those links in the chain? Or can AI or technology help me better manage multiple projects? Can it help me manage them more efficiently or more profitably? So it's really a typical construction paradigm being applied in the technological realm. And in fact, what we're starting to see in the type of equipment that we're starting to see utilized in the construction industry is sort of remarkably similar to what we see in the Matrix. So what we see in this 1999 movie is we see what they call sentinels. And sentinels are sort of robotic drones, if you will, that are used to float throughout the Matrix and see if they can spot human beings that have been made aware of its existence. The good guys in the Matrix run from sentinels. Quiet. Now, fast forward to today. What do we see in the construction industry? Well, we actually see the use of drones, which has become very prevalent on construction sites. Drones with capabilities beyond just the drone that my 14-year-old son throws up and buzzes around my neighbor's house and I get the telephone call with a complaint. They actually are very functional, high-level drones, and this is an example of what we're seeing, particularly amongst general contractors on projects.
It's big, it's smart, and it's replacing the traditional two-man survey crew.
We use a LiDAR, light detection and ranging,
And LiDAR.
and that sends 300,000 pulses of light per second down at the ground. It captures those pulses of light. You'll get 250 points per square meter.
That level of detail is providing engineers the tools to make decisions about moving mountains of dirt on the final phase of the massive Highway 4 expansion project.
When the project is done, you get all this information and you store this information for future use.
This professional drone takes 2 people to operate, a pilot and a safety observer. Today, the onboard sensor is an HD camera feeding live to a ground station. They are checking the overall progress. It's not just about cameras and LiDAR that drones carry. There's another sensor, one that can tell you about stuff that's underground.
It's called a magnetometer. It goes over and measures magnetic anomalies on the Earth's surface.
Like a powerful metal detector looking for pipelines, old abandoned wells, or anything that could be a problem for construction crews. Then there's this.
There are other things you can do with a magnetometer. Search for nickel, copper, gold,
Wow.
diamonds. You find more precisely where you can drill.
So 20 years ago, probably people would not have thought that drones would exist, or if they did exist, that they wouldn't be able to do some of the neat things we see them doing today. Obviously, the law's trying to catch up with this. As of a year and a half ago, the laws that govern taking a gun out in your backyard and shooting it in an airplane also govern shooting down a drone, which obviously is a problem, particularly where I live in Southern Illinois. They don't like drones buzzing around their house, and they're constantly trying to get rid of them. But the law is trying to catch up with it, but contractors are using them, and they do wonderful things. Obviously, you can inspect tops of buildings, you can evaluate and film progress of construction sites, and what I thought was neat in that clip is see underground tanks so that you avoid and create efficiencies and avoid subsurface obstacles, increase contract price and contract duration. So they have an enormous amount of use in construction today. Now, getting back to the Matrix. Again, in the Matrix, Morpheus's goal is to teach Neo to enhance his performance in a way to battle the bad guys. And the way they do that in the Matrix is they download computer programs directly into his brain. In this instance, we see Neo learning Kung Fu.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
This is a sparring program, similar to the programmed reality of the Matrix. It has the same basic rules like gravity. What you must learn is that these rules are no different than the rules of a computer system. Some of them can be bent, others can be broken. Understand? Then hit me, if you can.
Master wins again. Obviously, performance is enhanced in reality and in the construction industry today, not through any sort of special effects, but actually through enhanced performance and equipment. And some of the equipment that we're starting to see on job sites is really amazing and frankly kind of remarkably similar to the special effects we saw in the Matrix 20 years ago. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is smart equipment that we see contractors utilizing to increase performance. Whoops. Oh yeah.
Many ideas that were once thought of as gimmicks or even the stuff of science fiction are now being steadily incorporated into the mainstream industry, with new and practical applications for technology being developed at a rapid pace.
So they covered a number of different pieces of equipment in that clip, but some of the things you saw were, again, the drones. You saw some smart equipment actually on a worker. And then another thing that's really big right now is kind of remotely operated vehicles. If one individual can operate a vehicle or multiple vehicles on a site without the workers, then you save the cost of you save accidents, it's safer. There's a number of different upsides to it. That makes it appealing to contractors who are really starting to embrace that technology. One of the neatest things that I've seen with our construction clients is actually the use of smart helmets, which are sort of the construction version of Google Glasses.
Here we have one of our prototypical users, a typical field service engineer. Sam, can you walk us through a couple of the use cases for the smart helmet and show us what it can do?
So we'll look at the work instructions first.
Great.
So this system behind me, it's a valve system. So the first thing the helmet does is detect the environment, and it will notice there's a pressure anomaly when I start looking at the gauges. So I look at the top gauge, I get a reading. I look at the bottom gauge, I get a reading. And then the system gives me a readout and detects an anomaly. It then guides me through simple work instructions to change the filter. So I can step forward, replace the filter, confirm done. Second, confirm done. And now the system's bypassed.
And for that first use case, we tie in content from the existing work systems and work process data, but you don't need that data to make the smart helmet useful. You can use it right out of the box for, in essence, superhuman capabilities, like the ability to see thermal information over the top of the real world.
So if I look at this wall, you'll see a camera output, and you can see what I'm seeing. Now on the face of it, everything looks normal. But when I click on thermal, you can see the hot water pipe there has got a blockage, and the lagging's clearly damaged. And then the voltage system here has a fault behind it. So on the basis things generally get hot when they're about to fail, I can really easily see that things are wrong in this scenario.
So pretty remarkable capabilities that the smart helmet provides. It's obviously an expensive feature, which is why I'm not showing this video to my son. He'll want one for Christmas. I don't know how much they are, but they add a lot of value when they avoid the accidents that could occur by pressure or temperature sensitive readings that could avoid problems down the line. So smart helmets are another piece of equipment that we're starting to see amongst our contractor clients. Now getting back to the Matrix. The Matrix is actually, as you see in the background here, a code, okay? So this is a code that the designers of the Matrix have created, and when they want to impose that code or the different fake reality on the human beings in the world at that time, they simply rewrite the code. And they add whatever they want, but it's all done through code.
Whoa! Neil, you scared the bejesus out of me.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You said?
The Matrix? Yeah.
Do you always look at it and code it?
Well, you have to. The image translators work for the construct program. But there's way too much information to decode the Matrix.
So the Matrix being code, and on current construction projects, we obviously have a huge design component as well. And so architects and engineers have started to embrace technology on sites that will allow them to do their job either more quickly or more efficiently, or to share data and information amongst multiple users, even in multiple locations.
because I always have my phone. I need to make calls, take calls, text, record photographs, video, voice notes, written notes. There's all kinds of things that I do with this. A great example is I'm doing a kitchen remodel I just finished, and I had a couple of corrections at the framing rough end, and I was able to just take a quick photograph of the correction report, email it to the subcontractor that needed to make the correction, and said, I'm going to call for reinspection tomorrow at noon, get this done. And it saves me from a phone call, and it puts a little urgency in my subcontractors that need to get there.
So obviously mobile design apps are big right now amongst architects particularly. The information that's recorded is downloaded in real time and distributed. If there's a design change that requires additional parts, in some instances it's automatically ordered to the job site without any time or human element other than the original designer's decision. So we see a lot of mobile design applications in the market right now. Those have been around for probably the better part of 5 years. What has been around for a while as well, but is really big right now, is BIM, or Building Information Modeling. And that is actually very close to virtual reality designing of buildings and projects. And huge benefits, huge efficiencies. BIM has kind of taken over and has really become the standard on big commercial projects in the market right now.
The power of BIM is how it allows architects, engineers, and contractors to collaborate on coordinated models, giving everyone better insight into how their work fits into the overall project, ultimately helping them to work more efficiently. The data in a model defines the design elements and establishes behavior and relationships between model components. So when an element in a model is changed, every view is updated, with the new change appearing in section, elevation, and sheet views. You can use the information in the model to improve your design before it's built. Gain faster buy-in and approvals with realistic visualizations. Convey design intent to the field. And, most importantly, retain model intelligence from concept to construction. BIM provides insight into a design's constructability, improving the efficiency and effectiveness of the construction phase, and also providing a better understanding of the building's future operations and maintenance. Owners can use BIM for predictive maintenance, asset